The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
Hello everyone, this is Hani. I'm home with
Shae
and Irina. We hope you're all doing great just as we are, and we are here as we are every Monday to share our news with you and tell you what's going on in Atlanta and around the world apparently. So it was a pretty busy week for us. What was going on with you, Shae? I'll let you start.
A lot of film work last week. I had a new book published.
Yay, congratulations.
Yeah, I will get to that later. And there's a lot of news over the weekend. Interesting news and sad news. We'll get to that later too. What about you? How about you?
Well, I had a very exciting week. I also was very busy. First of all, congratulations on the book. I officially have a book dedicated to me, to the wife who pushes you to unexpected.
I forgot I dedicated that to you.
Oh yeah, that's the first book officially dedicated to me, so I'm very proud of you.
The book is available on Amazon.com. The book is called If You Truly Loved Christ. That's the book name. It's available on Amazon.com. In ebook form and in regular book form.
So congratulations, so proud of you. You actually completed 2 books in 1 year.
Yeah.
I promise that I will finish mine.
Editing is the worst. It's the worst part. You pull your hair out trying to edit a book.
I promise my publishers I'll finish in January. I don't know if I can. It's
Good
going
luck
to happen. The closer the January, the more I doubt it. But yeah, I'm very proud of you. Well, today's a special day. Today would have been a birthday of my grandmother. She's actually was born today, but unfortunately she's no longer with us. She passed away a couple years ago. And I like to remember her on her birthdays. I don't like to remember her on the day she passed. I like to remember her on her birthdays because that was the time when we all had to go back to Russia and visit her, because every time she would call me and tell me, Irina, that may be my last birthday, you need to come. So motivated by that phrase, I was going every year before she passed. And I'm actually very happy that we did. You know, she kind of got all the family together. It was such a great, family time and reunion. So that we miss her dearly, but I'm happy that I had learned so much from her, and we have so many fond memories of her. Well, I also had my best friend's birthday in Miami. I wasn't in Miami to celebrate, but I sure send my love and best regards to Jenny, my best friend, who actually...
Jenny in Miami, not Jenny in Atlanta.
Yeah.
She never tells me which Jenny she's talking about. She would just go off in a story about Jenny, and I will be guessing the whole story, which Jenny she's talking about.
Which one? So yeah, we call her Jenny from Miami. Actually, a funny story about Jenny. When I got fired from my first restaurant job when I was 21, I've never served at the restaurants before. And I remember the first day of training, they told me, come in the black shoes. So me, being a college student who never worked anything but, some teaching jobs, I came in the high heels for a 12-hour shift at the restaurant. So that was the first oops. And then...
Brilliant.
I mean, I had no idea. I went to the restaurants to eat. I never paid attention to what you actually wear at the restaurants. So, and then they said...
Apparently, you've never been in heels for more than 2 hours. I'm a dude and I know better than that.
No, I was born in Russia, so I wore high heels since I was 13.
What, to impress Vladimir? What? I don't know. What did you wear heels for?
No, it's just, you want to be a big girl wearing high heels. So,
to impress Vladimir. Okay, gotcha.
Impress whoever the guys are.
Vladimir. I'm sure one of them's name was Vladimir. Okay.
And by the way, thank you for those to those who are joining us online to our live sessions. Robert, hello. And you can find us on either Haniam homepage with Shae and Irina. Please sign up there. Or on my personal page, Irina Van Wells, and it's
on Facebook.
On Facebook, yes, we're Facebook Live. So yes, and my first training there at the restaurant. And I'll tell you how it's connected to Jenny from Miami. So yes, I was wearing high heels for 12-hour shift. And when my trainer sent me to get drinks from people at the table, I came there and they were talking to each other. And I was standing there next to them quietly for approximately 2-3 minutes. And then I decided, well, they deep into conversation, so I'll come back later. So I get back to my trainer and he was like, what do they want to drink? I was like, I don't know. I didn't want to interrupt. He looked at me like I'm retarded, and I had master's degree at the time. so, you know, but I think it was a great experience, and I actually got fired from that job. No, actually, no, I quit. I quit from that job after 3 months. And it was interesting experience because I had to learn so much so fast. But Jeannie, after I quit, she came. We went to the same restaurant. We had drinks. We had a dinner, and she said, "Don't worry, I'll find you another job." And my manager came to me and said, "Irina, you know, it was a situation yesterday, but you're welcome to stay. You're welcome to come back, and you don't have to go." But I was determined to move to Atlanta and start my life in a bigger city. So that was interesting. But on the bright side, I still go to that restaurant very often. We're great friends with the owners of the restaurant, and
we get free desserts there.
we get free anything.
Apparently, she was a horrible waitress, but we still get free desserts.
No, and my favorite part, like everybody else have to wait for at least 20 to 30 minutes to get seated. We never have to wait. We just walk in and get the table automatically, like ahead of line. And I was like, it's not bad to be, you know, for the first job, you know, been quitting the first job after 3 months and still maintaining great relationship after 16 years. But yeah, Jenny was a great support after my first huge failure. And, you know, she actually got me a second job in a matter of 2 days. So that was great. Really appreciated of that. And we had interesting summer.
And it wasn't on a pole, thank God.
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
we kept it civil, you know. But she was the great connection person. I learned so much from her about networking, about making friends in a matter of minutes. Thanks to Jenny, while she was in Atlanta, I went for free to every nightclub in Atlanta.
I mean, that's not too hard if you're a pretty 20-something-year-old Russian girl who's 5'9".
Add to that we also had free drinks at all those places.
I'm a dude, and I can get in any club free and get free drinks right now. Like, so, I mean,
well,
I don't put that high on the list of talents.
Well, you know, to me, then I just remember we could go to 2-3 clubs in one night and never pay.
I would hope so.
Well, I was there I was there because I like to dance. And Jenny was there to socialize and make friends. And the next thing you know, we're heading somewhere else to another club or another party. But yeah, she got me partying hard. Like we were going out 6 days a week back then, you know, so it was a hard life. So, it's a blessing Jenny's in Miami now. I mean, on one hand, I don't think I can handle that in my 30s. So, well, but we had great 20s. So, Jenny, I miss you, and we'll still see each other at least once a year. So, yeah, it's great to have friends in Miami. You know, so you always have a place to stop. and she does the same in Miami. She knows all the best places to go to parties and all the best restaurants. So, yeah, she's that kind of friend. I think everybody should have a friend like that.
Okay.
So, and today is also some famous birthdays. We were discussing how to pronounce the name, but I know him as Khloe Kardashian's husband, Lamar. So apparently today is his birthday, and he was celebrating a little bit too hard yesterday.
Ex-husband, maybe?
Ex-husband, right. Ex-husband. So yeah, he was celebrating a little bit too hard last night, and there were reports that he collapsed in a nightclub.
Another whorehouse collapse? No,
just
nightclub
just a nightclub.
Okay.
You know, he was just sitting there drinking.
Okay.
Some people said they saw him drinking before he collapsed, but his representative, his publicist, insisting that he was just dehydrated. He was exercising very hard in the beginning of the day.
Whatever.
And then it was so hot in the club that he just collapsed.
Cocaine and alcohol do not mix in hot clubs, I guess. I don't know.
Hey,
But,
Ricardo, and yes, thank you for letting us know. We have a great sound. Hopefully, have a good visual too. For those who are watching us, please send us some hearts if the picture is good, and ask us questions if you have any. So yeah.
who else you got? I think you were talking about Emma Stone.
Hey guys. Hey John. Thank you for joining. Yes, Emma Stone's
birthday.
Yes, I asked Shay, do you know anything about Emma Stone? Like I know, was she the one from King?
In a couple things.
Was his Lion King? No,
Lion King?
No. Beast and the Beauty. Is that her?
Absolutely not.
No? Okay, I don't know where she's at.
Okay.
Like which movie?
She was in a movie called Easy A. She was in a movie. She was in the dancing movie with what was that movie? Jeez, it won an Oscar. She was dancing with I can't even remember the name. Anyway, didn't watch it, but it was like Hollywood Land or something like that.
La La Land.
La La Land.
Oh, so that's
La La
her.
Land. That's
okay,
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now I was able to put the
cute redhead. She was also in Spider-Man. I think one of the recent Spider-Man. They've redone Spider-Man so many times. One with Jamie Foxx. She was in that Spider-Man.
I got you. So now I know who we're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, other than birthdays, it was a pretty interesting week for me. I had a fashion show on Sunday, and I actually find out that I will be going to New York Fashion Week next.
Yay,
with that
Fashion
collection.
Week. Good for you.
I know. I was so excited. So I was actually reading and trying to learn a little bit more about New York Fashion Week. I've never done that before, so for me it's a new experience.
You going to it to be in it or going to it to watch it?
No, I will be in a show. So designers will be presenting their collection on New York Fashion Week, and I'll be I will be the model, who's presenting the collection. But I was reading up about some about some models who've been through that many times, and things I was reading, I just had my hair stood up sometimes. So it's basically like 22 casting calls before the show. I don't even know how you can possibly make it, but you just basically running from designer to designer, trying to book as many shows as possible. Then they have like 3 to 4 shows a day with totally different makeups, a totally different hair. And I can only imagine what it is because, hey, you've seen my hair after the show, right? It's like you cannot brush the hair. You have to, because it has so much hairspray in it and it's teeth and it's like they make crazy stuff on your head. And I'm like, it looks cool, but you cannot brush your hair after that. So you basically, you have to wash your hair three times a day? Like, I'm really curious. But I was wondering how much the models actually get paid for during the Fashion Week show. And it's numbers are pretty interesting. Like if you modeling for a big event like a worldwide designer, so you get paid $1,000 per show, and actually
get paid more than that.
Well, that's what they're saying. That's what the models are saying who are actually part of the Fashion Week.
You get paid more than that if you're.
I mean, if you're a celebrity. If you
get paid more than that, even if you're fairly decent, you get paid more than that. I got paid more than that, and I'm in Atlanta at a crappy modeling show.
Well, I'm just telling you from people who've been to several shows. It may be her who got paid that much, that particular model.
I mean, they get paid more than that. I got paid more than that in Atlanta, and this is the New York Fashion Week show.
Well, what they also saying is that, many of them even get paid by clothes they wear. And it can be a couple $1,000.
That might be
clothes,
something, but I'm just saying they get paid more than $1,000. They don't even get
paid the money, they just get paid with the clothes. So, like it seems to us like that's such a, such a beautiful event. Like you make all this money, in 1 week, but it's actually it's not as glamorous.
Models do make some money. That's the whole point.
I guess you have to be a supermodel.
You don't have to be a supermodel. You just some people make money. Trust me. Like
okay, I'll let you know. But
if I made thousands doing it and I wasn't even special, like I'm sure people make more than that. Like that's not even a reasonable amount of money.
Well, we'll find out. But I'm really looking forward to that event. But I wanted to talk about a couple things that's going on in the world. So on our page, I shared a couple interesting posts, and I actually was listening to this speech by comedian Tim Minchin. I've never heard of him, but it's Tim Minchin. I don't know if you know him.
No, never heard of him.
I've never heard of him, but I was impressed with his speech. And he was talking about 9 life lessons. And my favorite one was, happiness is like an orgasm. If you think about it too much, it goes away. And he said that, meaning that focus not on your personal happiness, focus on making happy other people, and you might end up
That's not what I do when I'm having an orgasm. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, I mean,
I totally don't agree with that
you
statement.
don't agree with that?
Not if it has anything to do with an orgasm.
I mean, if you're in the middle of orgasm...
I'm not thinking about anybody else in the middle of my orgasm. I'm sorry, but that's just me.
What he meant is, like, if you have an orgasm and you start thinking, oh my gosh, I'm having an orgasm, I'm coming, you know...
That's exactly what I think of when I'm having an orgasm.
And then it disappears.
It doesn't disappear.
Well, at least it's for women then.
It explodes. What are you talking about?
For women, it's like, oh, I'm about to come, I'm about to have an orgasm. And the more you think about it, the less you have chances of having it.
What does that have to do with the lesson of thinking about other people or whatever you added to the end of it?
If you think about, I want to be happy, I just want to be happy, what makes me happy, if you think too much about that, you will never really be happy.
I get that, but that has nothing to do with an orgasm.
Well, I guess we have a different way of having orgasm. I'm just telling you from my experience. As a woman, the more you think about it, the less chances you have to achieve it. You have to be in the moment and you have to be focused on something else, and then it happens.
That's
just
agree to disagree.
but I was just like interested. I thought it's the same
He's
for men.
He's a terrible happiness coach.
Well, I thought it was funny. I don't know. Like, to me, it was funny, and I guess I could
Stick
relate
to comedy,
to it.
Tim.
I could relate to it. Apparently, you cannot relate to it.
Nah, that's terrible advice.
Well, I believe that if you just think what makes me happy all the time, you have less chances to be happy. You know? Like, if you just... I mean, I'm not saying to be pleasing everybody all the time, but if you're not...
You kind of have to do what makes you happy to make you happy. Like, it doesn't always include other people. Sometimes you have to go solo and do what makes you happy.
Well, I agree with that. But if you are so focused on yourself all the time...
Sometimes you have to be focused on yourself.
You're losing it. You're losing it.
No. Involving other people is what kills your happiness, to be honest with you, because trying to make those other people happy are expectations that you can't fulfill yourself. You can't make somebody else happy.
Well, it's kind of like the opposite. I understand that some people say, like, you know, be happy and don't expect anybody else make you happy, and that's what happiness is. But I just kind of like his perspective. Like, to me, it wasn't a very mainstream. It was the opposite, you know?
Advice that I would give is, if you can make yourself truly happy, you will spill over and have the spillover effect on everyone around you. Therefore, you can make them happy vicariously through your happiness if you focus on your own. Now, if you are focusing on everybody else and you're not a full vessel, you can't spill over your happiness on them. You can't be happy for them. Well,
at the same time, I think what he's talking about is extreme focusing on yourself. You should
extreme focus on yourself.
No,
that is exactly what I'm saying.
There are some people who are like constantly thinking, what is the meaning of my life? What makes me happy? If you constantly just, staying on that subject, kind of so self-absorbed that you have less chances of being happy.
You don't necessarily have to be self-absorbed. You have to make sure you're happy before you can be concerned with anybody else's happiness. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, besides that, I like another point where he says, don't try to have a huge dream. Like, I'm guilty of, aim for the stars. Like, try to put as huge goal as possible.
This guy's awful. Okay.
He's saying, instead of that, he's saying, be micro-ambitious. Meaning, passionately dedicate yourself to short-term goals. Because
he's awful.
Why would you say that? I mean, it makes sense, because he says that if you're
He's saying limit yourself? That's terrible.
No.
Micro goals?
No, he doesn't say limit yourself. But he says focus on what is within your reach.
That is the definition of limiting yourself.
I don't think you understand.
Don't aim for the stars, aim for the clouds. That's what he's saying.
And you know why? Because let's say you say, I want to be a Nobel Prize winner. And you start working in, let's say, in the field of physics, right? But then suddenly you feel inspired to paint or play piano. And if you're so determined and focused on becoming a Nobel Prize winner as a physicist...
Only an idiot wants to be a Nobel Prize winner.
Well,
only an idiot wants to win anything. Like, you can want to do something that changes the world, but when you want a prize for it, that's when the problem comes in.
Maybe it's not a good example, but what I'm saying is, he's saying if you're so focused on something which is far, far, far away, and you dedicate your whole life to it...
That is the only way you get to the clouds.
Can I finish? You're missing out on being present and seeing what is truly is making you happy at this particular moment. Maybe as a child you want to be an astronaut, but
I did, in fact.
But as a 30 years old, you might find more fulfillment in being a teacher. But if you're so determined to become the astronaut and you're trying to prove it to yourself and everybody else, and you keep applying to that, school all the time, like we put the post by a person, it took him 11 times to get to where he wants to be on a program.
When I was a kid, I did want to be an astronaut. Then I learned how to astral travel. I don't need a spaceship anymore. Case closed. Been to outer space.
Well,
done.
You just actually proved his point. You learned something that modified your dream.
But my dream was to be an astronaut. I wanted to get to outer space. I didn't have a limited goal of being on a spaceship to get there. I just wanted to figure out, how do I get to outer space? How do I, explore, beyond?
Okay. Well, I'll give you his other point. He says, define yourself by what you love, not by opposition to something. Because he's saying that in so many cases we associate.
That I agree with.
We associate with others by having in common hate towards something. Like
that I agree with.
So he says, express yourself through associating what you love. Don't say like, I hate country music or I hate liberals or whatever.
That's why I'll be honest, I hate all politics, left and right, Democrat and Republican. I don't like politics. I'm so independent that I don't even vote, actually, because
I'll vote for you.
You can vote. I don't care. I don't vote. Like I'm biblical, and biblically, God picks everybody. I don't pick.
I disagree with that. I go and vote. I exercise my right in both countries.
Does God tell you to vote in the Bible?
Nope.
God doesn't say vote in the Bible.
Well,
He actually says.
I feel like I want to make my contribution in what's going on and take.
God actually says He picks all kings and leaders, and it's His choice. So.
We have different opinions about the Bible principle. I don't apply it towards states and how countries need to be. But, those are 3 points out of his 9 points. So, those guys, go check it out. Check the video and see if you find something that you agree with or disagree with. I found it interesting. I thought it was fresh, refreshing, out of inspirational speeches recently. So I find it quite interesting. So we shared it on our Facebook page, Honey, I'm Home. And by the way, we are live on Honey, I'm Home Facebook page. And thank you for those who are joining us. Isule, oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in so long. One of my former co-workers. And thank you for joining. Yes, and we're also on my personal page, Irina Van Vels. See us in either. And of course, listen to us. So, did you want to talk about something? You said you wanted something.
Maybe we'll get to it later.
Okay. Well, and I was actually learning so much from different interesting posts on social media, and one of my favorite is they actually come up with a way of making eatable spoons. And, they're trying to replace plastic spoons with something that is durable, doesn't crush, it doesn't melt, but at the same time, you can actually eat it. It's strong enough to hold the liquid for a long time, or, strong enough to actually for you to eat comfortably. But at the end of the day, it's just as cheap as plastic. You can eat it, and it's full of nutrients.
I'll let you eat them all.
I think it's a genius idea. I think it's a great idea. Hey, Cassie.
Everything that's edible isn't necessarily good for you.
Well, what do you think it's made
scientifically?
of? What do you think it's made of?
Probably biodegradable material, but
No, it's
Twinkies not even biodegradable material.
No, it's made of wheat.
Twinkies is supposedly made of wheat.
It's basically the same as bread.
But if you see Twinkies
like
on
a
the
bread
shelf
crust.
from 1980, Twinkies still look like a Twinkies don't even go bad. So you can eat it if you want to. But
I think it's a genius idea because you don't throw away anything. You don't throw away anything. It doesn't contain anything that is bad for you. It's good for you. I hope they make them gluten-free.
Okay, I mean...
But it actually was invented by a couple in India, and they put their own house as a collateral for the loan, and they're strong believers that this idea will pick up. And
that's a good idea.
There are some people in America right now who are looking into producing it here, and they look into substitute all the plastic.
That actually leads me to some of the things I was going to talk about.
So what did you want to talk about?
There is a new invention. I have to look up his name, but it's called Alcosynth. It's a synthetic compound of alcohol that has been patented that does not give you a hangover. It does not give you a headache. It also does not give you the drunk feeling. In general,
What's the purpose?
It does everything alcohol does.
What does it do? What does it do? It gives you a happy feeling that.
Yes, it gives you everything alcohol does without a hangover and without the toxicity of alcohol. It does not hurt your liver. It does not give you a hangover toxicity. It's non-toxic, and it's actually also you can't get addicted to it so far. Like it's a compound that's pretty much gonna by 2050, it's predicted to
make you throw up
alleviate. No, you won't throw up. You won't get nauseous at all. It will take the place of alcohol by 2050. Period.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You really think the alcohol industry will let it to substitute everything else?
It will anyway. It's
been around. It's just like saying that electric cars or driverless cars will, just substitute every other car.
It's alcohol without the side effects.
Well, I think it's probably they will still,
it's
probably have the same
patented,
brands. They probably will have the same brands, but
it's a different patented compound. It's a different patented compound.
So
completely different from alcohol.
I mean, right now, for example, they make wines out of grapes.
Wine is different. If somebody wants to have wine, they can have wine.
So wine doesn't go away anywhere.
What if somebody wants wine or if somebody wants vodka because they like the brand name? That's fine.
I mean, vodka is made of some organic.
People will go out of business because it will not be a viable business model anymore.
I think people will still want to drink something organic, not something synthetic.
Well, most people will want to get the feeling of getting drunk. Period. Think about it. Think about how many things are synthetic. Everybody goes to the doctor to get synthetic drugs. Who lives by herbs and, how many naturopathic doctors are actually
alcohol has a flavor to it. Like
they can add flavors to the synthetic alcohols.
Well,
It's gonna do everything that the alcohol does, but you're not gonna get sick or toxic or die from it.
Well, it sounds more like a Red Bull to me.
You can consider whatever you want, but if it does everything alcohol does, but it won't get you won't get pulled over for it or anything. Like it's gonna do all kinds.
So it doesn't impair your.
It doesn't.
Oh, interesting.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, I still want to keep because I'm a supporter of everything green, and it's something interesting I actually learned. Did you know that ozone holes, that was a big problem because they were growing, but they're actually right now the smallest they ever been since they were discovered.
What are you talking about?
The ozone holes in the air, in the
ozone holes.
Yeah, holes.
Oh my god!
What are they called?
Ozone holes in the ozone.
Yes, in the ozone layer. Thanks for translation. I said the same thing, but you hear holes instead of holes.
Holes in the ozone.
Holes in ozone.
They're closing.
Yes, they're closing. They are the smallest they've ever been since they've been discovered.
That's
Thanks
right.
to all the regulations that were put in all over the world and reduce of toxics in the air. It's actually recovering. So, which is great. So that's why I'm always excited about all the new technologies which make our planet healthier and our environment better. And one of such things is actually a food sensor, which you put the food there, and 24 hours later, it gives you fertilizing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's genius because you know how much I waste. I hate to waste food,
I mean,
right?
you could just poop the fertilizer out. I mean, that works too. Okay.
Well, I would love you to see that. Well, which is true in a way.
You would like to see somebody poop?
No.
You're weird. I'm sorry.
No, I don't.
You just said I would like to see that.
Well, I want to see you fertilizing for us.
You want to watch me poop? That's just weird.
No, I'm not chilly. We actually have a dog who has a weird habit. Every time Shane is in the bathroom, she just goes and opens the door and makes sure he's there and checking out what he's doing.
Oh my god.
I have to give you our family secrets away. Yeah, I miss our dog. We actually had to take her to Shay's mom because we're traveling in 2 days to China, and fortunately we're afraid she's gonna escape. Hey Anna, thanks for joining. So yeah, our dog, I remember when Shay went to work, she has this habit of going outside and looking for him. So since both of us will be gone, we're afraid my mom will lose her. She will run away from her.
Yeah.
But yeah, we already have I think we have a separation anxiety more than she does nowadays.
There was a recent discovery made, a scientific discovery.
You changed the topic from Chile?
Yeah. There was a scientific discovery made that bee venom
What is that?
bee venom is when you get stung by a bee, the bee venom is the poison that makes it hurt really bad.
Ooh,
that makes it
that's
sting.
What some people are really allergic
Yeah,
to.
that's what people are allergic to. Well, bee venom, it can break down the HIV virus.
Really?
Yes. So they are actually using bee venom to destroy HIV virus.
And permanently, or
actually, they are developing a preventative gel for vaginal gel for like married couples, where if one has HIV, where they can
is it gonna burn?
It actually, venom is not poisonous unless it's injected into your bloodstream, even if it's snake venom.
Well, I just can't imagine if the guy's having sex with a lady, puts himself in, and then it burns like a beast.
It doesn't. It's not like that. But anyway, that and it also might cure. It also might cure HIV virus that's already existing. That's what the studies are showing.
Well, it's a great
idea. It can
idea.
break down the virus.
It sounds great, but I'm just having all kinds of pictures in my mind right now. They use it as the actual, how you said, the vaginal whatever. People
use bee venom on their lips to make them fatter, like for to swell.
Well, I think they have to use it on men's part to make them bigger. I just created a new application of this stuff.
Anyway, it wouldn't make it bigger at all. It would just.
But it would swallow.
It would swell, but it doesn't. It wouldn't do anything like a Viagra or anything.
Oh.
The blood would have to come from the inside, not the outside.
Okay.
It would swell lips. They have lip venom. They have there's something called lip venom that you actually can put make your lips plumper. Yeah, that has bee venom in it, actually.
Well,
also,
that topic kind of brings me to another one, which did you know that a woman can have twins, and the twins can actually each child can be from a different father?
And that's what happened in the Adam and Eve story in the Bible.
Really?
Cain was from Satan, and Abel was from Adam.
My husband has a talent. Everything that I'm talking about, he knows how to turn it into Bible discussion.
They were twins, but they weren't. They were from different fathers.
Well, there's actually examples in real life. It's very rare,
I know,
but it's possible. And there was recently one of such cases when a surrogate mother, she was pregnant with the baby that they put on her, but then she was also ovulated and she got pregnant from her partner. So she basically had twins. And DNA showed that one baby was from the parents for who she was surrogate, and another baby was actually having her DNA and her husband's DNA. And she was actually fighting in the court to get adopted, that second child, because she believed that, the first child she produced was parents' DNA.
She was fighting to get her kid back.
Yes, so she gave
both of them to the surrogate parents because they thought that was the surrogate's babies.
Right, but I don't know how they decided to check if they are the same.
Because it didn't look like them.
Well,
it was a different color.
No.
Yeah, it was a different color than the surrogate's baby.
No, in that case which I was reading, they didn't say about it.
It was a different nationality than the surrogate.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So it was like a black and white baby?
Something like that, but they weren't. They was like, I think the couple was like the foreign. It was a foreign couple paying her to be a surrogate.
Well,
it was a different nationality
they
baby.
discussed two most recent cases. So if you guys want to learn more about that,
it was a different nationality baby.
Yeah, you can go to our page, Honey, I'm Home with Shae and Irina. I shared that post over there. I thought it's funny. Like, I thought it's very interesting. So if you want to learn more about that story, just go on our look into it. Let me know. How would you react? Like, how would you react if I'm having twins, for example? and
I would want to know who's the father of the other baby.
Well, I should. I mean, I think I just screwed myself up. No, but I think like no. For example, if you're a surrogate mother, right, and then you have another child, I don't think I'm going to be a surrogate mother for anybody. Point of my life, but
you can always get pregnant, even if you're pregnant. You can just always get pregnant.
That's interesting. Really interesting. So it means like one baby will be born like 1 month less, 1 month than it should be.
One's just going to be older in the womb than the other one, period.
So I wonder how it's going. It's like she gave a birth and one is still like in there and waiting
something
for him
like that.
Waiting to be
or
born
they
later.
just take them both out and one's preemie is I don't know what.
I thought they
have two separate wombs though. They're in two separate wombs. Yes,
I thought they're in the same
they're
womb.
in complete different wombs.
Well, this event, for those who are nerds like we are, it's called superfetation. I thought it's very interesting because it creates some paternity issues. So
yeah. Paying child support right now for twins that aren't theirs. Yeah. Just because they came out at the same time, they're assuming it's theirs. And nope, she was cheating on you while she was pregnant. Sorry, dude.
Yeah, on that, like, you remember that case when we went actually Laura's Lake paternity court? Well, we don't want to tell you the whole story, but I thought it's very interesting how the woman claimed that certain person was the father and he was actually paying a child support and even went to jail because he was behind in paying, and he found out he wasn't even the father. This
was after what? How old was she? 33 years old?
She was in her 30s.
She was in her 30s. Yeah. He had paid child support the whole time.
Yeah, he was like behind.
He was not the father the whole time.
Yeah,
so that was pretty.
And he actually said he married the woman just because he wanted to do the right thing. When he didn't even plan to marry, he only married because he thought it's his child.
Are we talking about the same person?
Yeah, the same. He said he said that, when he found out that they were pregnant, he wanted to do the right thing, married the person, and then he was paying the child support all that time, and it wasn't even his child.
Okay, we're talking about two different people. Yeah. Yes.
Guys, if you never watched Paternity Court, it's pretty interesting. It's not like, what's his guy's name? Like, Jerry
we were only there because we were audience members, paid audience members. We weren't there for any other reason. You're telling them that we were on paternity court.
Oh, well,
Let them know that we weren't there for paternity reasons.
yeah.
So let's just clear that up.
I don't have
You
kids
don't
from
you
two
don't
different
think
fathers.
you need to think out loud on certain things.
But I mean, we really enjoyed Laura Lake. She's great. Knows how to bring the best in people.
I have to say that she's the judge because
She's the
nobody
judge.
knows who
I'm
she
sure
is.
it's Emmy winning.
They don't
show.
know who she is if you don't say that she's the judge of the show. It's a judge show, and it's paternity court, and it's Judge Lauren Lake.
It's a great show because it's not, there's nothing crazy going on. Nobody's beating each other up, and
there's plenty crazy going on. I don't know what Irina's talking about.
Well, I enjoyed how she actually get to know people. Actually, I was surprised when that person who everybody thinks like, oh, this person is no good, and people find something great about that person and make that person to actually take that mask off and show who they really are. And it's a totally different personality than they were trying to put on.
I agree, but the build-up is crazy.
Build-up is crazy. He can only take as much of those shows. I think once a month max. But yeah, it's a great season. It's an Emmy-winning TV show. So if you never watched it, I think it's a pretty good quality. I liked it. Well, that kind of reminds me that I was actually part of my first music video this week. I've done music videos, and I wasn't twerking or anything like that. I don't know how to do that. My husband is my witness. I cannot dance very well. Well, at least he didn't see me. I can dance pretty well.
I said none of this.
I just dance differently. Not what you expect me to do. I have my own moves. But anyways, I was a part of a music video, and the music video is more like a short film, and it was based on actually real life of the who wrote the song. Very talented Atlanta pop artist. You can actually go to our page about his link to his website and to his. I actually enjoyed it. It doesn't fit traditional pop songs, which I would expect. It was very real. It was based on his own experience with his family, lots of his brothers. I thought it was a great project. I was very honored to be a part of it, and I'm looking forward to how far and he'll go and how well he will do. I feel like he'll do great. We'll hear from him more. Yeah. My expectation. Yeah, so that was interesting. That was a crazy week for me. Man, for you too, right?
That was another mass shooting in Texas.
Oh. How did we go from movie shooting and photo shoots to mass shooting?
Because you're talking about shooting,
right.
Actually.
Right.
You're talking about camera shooting, but
well, it's very unfortunate.
Still the same
very
word.
Unfortunate. Our condolences to the families. But I'm so tired of that nothing is actually changing. It happens almost every month and nothing is changing.
Well,
it's just very sad.
One interesting thing that comes to mind is that it's always blamed on mental illness when there's a common thread, but apparently Muslims and Arab people can't have mental illness. So apparently, if all the NRA members change their name to Muslim names, there will be no more mental illness in America.
By the way, did they find out what was the motive? Las Vegas shooter?
There is no motive, don't you know? Yeah. So
that's a very, very alarming trend. It's not. Yeah, you're right. I mean, those are no longer Muslims. There's no terrorists. Us Americans doing that. And then fortunate.
It's never Americans. It's fifth generation European immigrants. Let's say that. Let's say that. That sounds better. Yeah, let's say that.
Not a laughing matter. Loved ones. It's very sad. And in this situation, I don't even know if you should have a gun or you shouldn't, because I believe if you have a gun, at some point you will use it for one reason or another.
I mean, they're never gonna get rid of guns. Honestly, the law that prevents mentally ill people from getting guns was redacted. So basically, even mentally ill people can go and get whatever gun they want at this junction. So to talk about mental illness is pointless because they can get guns too. So I
remember one comedian said that even blind people.
A blind person can have a gun. Illegal, they can buy a gun. A blind person can buy a gun, and a blind person can shoot indiscriminately. Whatever. Like
he doesn't
they can.
Even know who he shoots.
I agree, but you can't take away his Second Amendment right, even though his right to see is taken away. That's unfortunate.
Well, people have very strong. Is getting what? As I said, I always trying to understand why Russia doesn't have that. Are there murders? Yes, but are there mass shootings? No. Do we own guns? Yes. Do we have mass shootings?
I mean, I don't see why we don't have like a driver's test for guns. Take them to the gun range and make sure they're proficient with aim before they're issued a license. Just simple. Like, just make sure they can use it properly to issue them a license to have and to carry it. Period. Just actually make sure they can functionally use it. If they're blind and they can't hit the target, guess what? Their gun kind of needs to be, given to the nearest relative or something. I don't know.
I remember.
Well, if you can't hit the target, maybe you shouldn't have one.
Well, that's why I don't have
You're endangering your family. I don't know.
I remember, for some reason, I thought that it will be a great date idea. And we went to a shooting range. We didn't last even 30 minutes. It was like, you can have it. We didn't have to stay there for an hour. It was so loud. Oh. Yeah, but next week, by the way, we are not going to have our live show. You're going to hear to one of our replays because we are going to China. We're so excited. We got our visas. We plan our trip. We're supposed to pack. I'm still filming tomorrow all day, but my Wednesday I'll be packing. So excited. What's your expectation for the trip? Do you have any?
I hope World War III doesn't start while we're in China. That's my whole.
She is so pessimistic. I actually booked this trip in January.
Okay, China is North Korea's only ally, really. So we're going to China while North Korea intentions are high.
You have to stuff like that.
Because you can't not think about it. What are you talking about?
I don't think about it. I'm thinking about Chinese food.
Well, I would love to be oblivious too, but
I'm thinking about all the beautiful things.
I would love to be oblivious too. And then
it works for me.
And guess who else will be in China?
Who else will be in China?
Donald Trump.
When?
While we're there.
Are you serious?
Yes. He'll be in South Korea and China.
When?
While we're there. So
stop it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's not the best time to go if North Korea was feeling froggy. Just FYI.
Oh, he's going there. We actually missed Donald Trump. We actually had a wide tour ordered August. We couldn't make it to Washington. Actually,
a White House trip.
White House trip. Yes. We were supposed to White House tour president. But actually see him in China. That would be interesting.
I don't think he'll be I think he'll be in South Korea when we're in China, and he's in Japan right now, I think.
Really?
He's
I'm so
doing
not
that whole
following.
Asia
I'm so
trip
not
thing right
following.
now.
Not following. Working so much, I didn't even like.
Yeah.
Is he still tweeting?
The issue is he will be, a couple of miles from North Korea.
Oh.
No, what it's not
He-
about staying positive. It's I'm just saying, like, okay.
Well, I'm very excited because I don't know, us speaking English will actually help us there. Because this is for me personally the first time we're traveling.
I mean, I'm sure every Chinese person who's ever watched any TV or ever watched an NBA basketball game knows a couple of words of English and will go out of their way to say something in English to the 6'3" black guy who's going to be walking around in China.
What about me? I'm 5'9".
So you're
we'll probably will be the tallest people on that bus.
I mean,
like anywhere we go, we'll be the tallest people. So I don't need the phone. I'll just see my husband and I'll wave at him. I'm above the heads, and then we will see each other. So that will be interesting. Well, I'm excited actually. I've never been to such a different country. Like when we went to Israel, I actually posted on our Facebook page, "Honey, I'm home with Shae and Irina," a picture of us from Israel. I can't believe it was this year. It seems like such a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think? Like it was January, which was like 10 months ago. So yeah, and I just posted a picture from there. And when we were in Israel, so many people spoke Russian and English. Mm-hmm. I almost felt like I spoke Russian more than English over there. But
we did speak Russian more than English over there.
Yeah, because everywhere we went there,
Israel is on the low, literally just like another Russia, like to be honest with you.
Pretty much.
There's more Russians there than anything.
Yeah, I felt the same way when I was in the Dominican Republic. Like me and my friend there to celebrate my birthday, and 80% of people on the resort were speaking Russian. Where I go, people speak one of the languages I know very well. But I think China is not going to be that kind of country. Tells me nobody's going to speak Russian there, probably. So we'll see. Well, I'm super excited. We're also going to Boston.
Will you stop moving the camera?
Yeah, sure. We haven't been to Boston yet, so I'm looking forward. I heard Boston is actually as like my hometown. If anybody from Boston listening to us, let us know. Go and comment on our page. So I was told that Boston is actually as Kaliningrad, the area I'm from, where I was born. Those of my friends who visited, they said it looks very similar. See how similar it is. Oh, you want to know something? When I was at the fashion show, I met some ladies from Panama. They actually told me they are going next year to Russia because of World Cup. Soccer World Cup.
Panama, as in like Panama Canal, Panama?
No, Panama is country. Yeah,
Panama
Canal.
Canal.
So
okay.
it's South Africa. South American country.
Central America.
Well, Central American. So they're so excited. They already booked the apartment in Moscow. They're waiting on tickets for World Cup. It's the first time Panama soccer team is actually going to participate. So they're like beyond being excited. They were telling me, Irina, you should go with us so you can translate. What do you think? To go to World Cup?
I'll pass.
Why? Have you ever watched at least one game of soccer?
Do you really want to go to a World Cup game? That is like...
This is like Olympic game.
It's like a target for every terrorist in the... Oh my God. Okay.
Why are you so negative?
I would never go to a World Cup game.
It's like not going
I would never go to a World Cup game.
It's like not going to Olympic Games because of you're afraid of that. Like Olympic Games were in Russia very recently. And
I don't go to stuff like that. You can go. I don't go to stuff like that. Sorry.
Not a risk taker. Not at all. It's like a once in a lifetime opportunity to see all those people.
I don't even like soccer.
Pretend.
I don't even pretend.
Fake it.
I'm not going to fake it in a big stadium that collapses on people.
Oh my goodness.
No.
He's so terrible.
I've seen one too many horror movies with that stuff happening.
Yes, exactly. You're watching too many horror movies.
I don't even like it. It's too many people. I'll pass. You can go.
he would have met me, I think he would never leave the country at all.
No, I was leaving the country.
When did you go without?
I was going to leave the country.
Oh, you were going to leave the country.
Absolutely.
I'm the one who made you to apply for a passport.
I was going to leave the country, trust me. I was just going to take a girl with me. You just happened to be the girl.
Oh, so
I did take you, actually.
Well, you did take me.
Okay,
yes, to Israel,
exactly.
But I made sure that you have a passport so you can leave the country. So you should see how much time it took me to convince him to fill out the application, actually go there and get the passport.
Well,
I travel every year. Like, I've already been to Israel, to Russia, I'm going to China. Right, I've been to 3 countries.
It's almost time to
Yeah, we're wrapping up. So, what's on your list, guys? Where you want to travel? I was thinking.
Really gonna ask that in the last minute. We gotta wrap it up.
You can go to our page and comment.
I understand, but wrap it up.
We have 5 more minutes. What are you talking about?
We have no minutes.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I'm looking at the different way. This time is passing by so fast. I'll tell you about my idea of our next vacation.
Wrap it up.
Hey guys, we'll see you in 2 weeks after we come back from China, and we'll tell you everything about it and post lots of pictures. So join us live next time in 1 week, in 2 weeks, and we'll tell you about our great experience in Beijing, Shanghai, and all the.
All right, guys. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining.
Watch TV, get off the phone.